You know what time it is.
Boom shakalaka! All right! Here we are on a Friday, Chas.
Yes, Friday. So glad it's Friday. In fact, for me though, this is my Monday, but it's okay.
Okay.
Not to be a Debbie Downer.
Oh, okay.
Happy Friday to all of you, though.
Yes.
And it's probably your Monday too, Bryan.
Well,
it's like a busy day, right?
As a restaurant guy, this Friday's the beginning of the week.
That's right.
Oh,
for
my.
pastors
Okay.
and restaurant owners.
Okay.
Friday's the start.
Yes.
All
Friday's
right.
the start.
Exactly. How is it going, Bryan? This is Bryan Sink. I'm Chassidi, by the way, and Chaveevah. Mom is in the mountains right
Yes,
now.
yes. If you see a difference in the lineup here, that's what it is. Rocki is away, vacationing in the mountains. Hello, shout out.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, so I'm Rocki.
Yeah, she's Rocki. He's Rocki.
I get to be Rocki.
He's Rocki today. The man with the Y, not an I, like the male masculine Rocki.
The other Rocki.
That's right.
So, how is it going at Bryan?
It's going great. Having a real nice time. Live music is continuing to take off, and
Awesome.
Yeah.
lots of people enjoying live music. And Waterloo's become quite a hub of live music. There are 4 or 5 places right on our 4 corners here that have live music now. Not every day, but lots of live music. So let's explode the myth that live music's not around anymore.
Right.
What we need are more people to come listen
That's
All
to
right.
live
right.
music.
Yes.
You gotta come out. You gotta come out and support it.
Yes, absolutely. Live music. And so that seems like that would be more like kind of like a Beale Street in Waterloo, like where everybody kind of feeds off of each other, and the more activity we have downtown, the more
Yes.
traffic.
Yeah,
But
but
people go where people are.
okay.
Yes.
So we need lots of stuff for
Yes.
people to do.
Yeah.
Come down
So more
on
people here.
Thursday. I mean, that's the day that I can vouch for sure. We're just going to hear some good blues music, nice crowd, nice band.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice that when you go to a bar, the busiest spot in the bar is one particular line, one place in the bar where everybody lines up, and then of course they complain about the line being too long, but they won't leave the line and go around where there's no people. People love being where people are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they love being packed in, and that's just part of the culture, I think, of going out. So
Yeah.
let's bring it back.
Let's bring it back. A crowd draws a crowd. Awesome, awesome.
Okay, so we want to touch on a few things, just what's been happening here
Yeah.
lately. Chance, I know the other night, last night, that
Yeah.
you were at the town hall meeting. Can you just tell us a little bit about what's happening with that?
Yes, I was invited by the 100 Point Coalition to do be a part of a live panel talking about the Waterloo school system and education in general. And it was a dynamic conversation
Okay.
at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, and there was lots to talk about. Unfortunately, many of the Waterloo public schools are not getting good grades, so to speak, as an overall assessment of each building. So there's some that are really struggling, and there's some that are okay, and the best score that they have is acceptable. And I don't know if acceptable is as high as you can get, or if it's just somewhere just acceptable, you know what I mean? But that's the highest that a Waterloo school has gotten. So there's a lot of parents terribly concerned, and they invited me to talk about why we started Royal Legacy Christian Academy. And so that was sort of the panel. Our guest today, yes, she was a part of that panel. We had the the president of Tri-City Head Start. There was former educators on the panel, so it was a good mix of people, and Waterloo school administrators and teachers. So I'm learning how political apparently education is.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, we have to just make it about our children.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
our kids.
Zion, do we have some comments?
Yes. Joyce Ann Waters says, "Shakalaka boom, y'all be boom shakalaka."
All right. Hey. Boom
Hey now.
shakalaka.
Your mom says hi.
Hi, Mom.
All right.
Good.
Joyce Ann Water also says, I hope your mom not drinking wine up in them their mouth.
You know she is, so we'll just have to tell her to be careful.
That's right. Yes.
Keep her
Dixon and
off.
Corey says, Happy Friday, everybody. Rocki deserves a vacation.
Absolutely.
Excited to hear that Miss Abe had to say. What Miss Abe had to say.
Oh, Abebe.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yes, excited to hear what she
Yes.
has to say. We are
Yes.
all excited to hear what
You know,
she
they
has
say it's actually safer to drink wine in higher elevations.
Is that
Is
right?
that right?
Yeah, well, because you know which way you're going to roll.
Right.
Okay. I knew we were setting ourselves up for something. I just didn't know
You
what
know-
it was
You
yet.
know which way.
You know which way
Okay.
you're going.
I promised Rocki I was going to behave on this.
She never does, so you don't have to.
Now, speaking of dynamic conversations, I want to thank everybody who participated with our online discussion where we were talking about, what was it? A video called A Message to My Black Son. There was a lot of varied opinion on how people felt about that, but it was a very engaging conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, I chimed in with my 2 cents as well. Not having a black son, but having a black brother and a father who we have seen firsthand some of the disparities in treatment. And just really grateful for empathy, you know,
Yes.
and listening to other people's experiences with police, and also thankful for police officers who will do what's right and be, you know, fair in every instance. So
Yeah.
those are all important parts of the conversation.
Well, you said it when you talked about the how politicized education has become, and everything is supercharged politically these days.
Yes.
Conversations like the ones that we're going on are exactly what we need.
Yes.
True opinions,
Yes.
both sides of the aisle, both sides of the equation, expressed with respect
Yep.
and dignity.
Right.
Dignified conversation.
And I feel like the more we have proximity with people that are different than us, the more we can have these conversations organically and in a real compassionate way. You know, Facebook is a nice forum to trigger conversation, but really once we get in proximity, life on life, you know, is when we can really dig in and find out where another person's coming from and honor someone else's journey and experience.
You're right, because sometimes a vehicle like Facebook, people will tend to, rather than being honest about things, they'll tend to jab
Yeah,
or, you know, because you can be more
there's a
anonymous. But I
distance.
really appreciate that people did not take that route. They just talked about, you know, honestly how they felt.
And then the opposite thing can happen where you surround yourself on social media with like-thinking people
Yes.
who reinforce your opinion,
Right.
Yes.
and you don't seek out opposing views and opinions, which are so important to hear
Absolutely.
in a positive light.
Yes.
Because when we do hear opposing views, it tends to be very negative and very poorly expressed.
Exactly.
So things like the forum that you had are, to me, the perfect vehicle for
Yeah.
positive enlightenment.
I think it speaks volumes of people's respect for Rocki and Chaveevah, you know, and just wanting to see this as sometimes people need a safe place to express themselves without
Yes.
feeling like they're not able to ask a question or give a comment or really understand. So
I agree.
hopefully that's what that was for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last week we had a really great show. Dave Deeds from JSA and Rick Coleman from KWWL were on the show last week, and we
Yes.
just want to shout them out and thank them again for a really awesome show. They talked about the things that are developing the city, and also Rick was talking about just, I mean, he's like a member of the household in a certain
Right.
way, because we're all used to seeing him on our television.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't know Rick, but Dave's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he's kind of an unsung hero
Yeah.
because he does more brain work behind the scenes
Yes.
than anyone can imagine.
Yeah.
And he's really a powerful force in why so much rehabilitation,
Development.
development,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so forth is going on because he does the legwork. He's the guy that finds the potential and finds the money in some cases.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he really is a secret weapon. That
And
probably
you know,
was.
what I love about Dave is that his heart is to change and make things better. It's not motivated by greed or money or anything like that. He's motivated because he loves our city and he loves development. He loves equality and things
Yes.
like that.
He's also a very snappy dresser, and he's fun at parties.
Hey
Okay.
now. See, I haven't gotten to meet him in that capacity, so that's
Nice.
great. Yeah.
Snappy dresser.
Snappy dresser. He's got, or for another generation, he's got a lot of swag.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there
A
you
lot of
go.
swag.
There you go.
Okay, what else do we have, Chaveevah?
Okay, what we want to do is shout out, first of all, Mr. Bryan Sink
Yay,
for hosting us here
Always
Yeah.
being
in
so
the
welcome.
Limestone Lounge. Yes.
Usually I do these quick cameo appearances where I can come in and sound funny for a second and leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But I'm under
now
a
you're-
huge amount of pressure.
Oh, we got you on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Now you're the host,
Huge
hosting.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
And we also want to shout out, let's see, our crew at WCT. Thank you very
That's
much.
right.
For always
And Mark,
doing such a great
Ryan.
job. Yes,
Yes.
Zion, awesome. And we also want to shout out, let's see, Zion. Brooke, we did that. Sierra, Alicia,
And Tion. These are the young people who will do the North End Update Youth Extension.
Youth Extension.
And you can
Very
see them
good.
every Saturday on the Facebook wall of Juliet Thurman Dunn. You should check out our children. They're doing great things.
Right. Well, I think we should skip ahead and
Yes.
invite our guest for the time.
Yes.
We are going to invite, first of all, she's my cousin.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to put that out there because I'm so proud of Yeshi. I've always bragged about Yeshi, Sahai, and Saba and all of the awesome things they do in their life. In particular, we want to invite my cousin Yeshi, who's running for Black Hawk County Supervisor.
Yes.
So Yeshi, come on up. Yay! Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much for joining
Kinda
us.
short.
Looking lovely. I just
Thank you.
love that.
Thank you.
And tell us about your ensemble because I know you got it from somewhere awesome.
Ethiopia.
All
Bam.
right.
That's
All
my.
right.
That's where you. That's
My
your
dad is from
heritage.
Ethiopia. Yep.
Yes, your heritage is Ethiopian and
Yeah.
African American.
Yes.
Awesome. This is Bryan. Bryan, ask your first question.
Nice to meet you.
He's excited about asking a particular question that will help all of us.
I have.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we've met before. Mayor Hart introduced us several months ago.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to hear that she was going to be a guest today. But I've asked her before the show started to give everyone a really 101 civics lesson and explain the county supervisor role and how they're chosen and who they represent. Just a quick down and dirty on how this works.
So,
Yes.
county supervisor in a nutshell, there are 5 in Black Hawk County. So, there are 99 counties in the state of Iowa. Black Hawk County is still an at-large representation, meaning the 5 folks that you vote in office represent the entire county.
Okay.
And so they have primarily responsibility for the county. So we can look at the administrative functions, sort of the legislative functions, and then sort of like it's a quasi-judicial function. And I'll just break it down really quickly so everyone to understand. All the services that you see for the county, so your human services, everything that goes on in that courthouse, so from getting your license for fishing and voting, all that falls under the county. And so the county supervisor does have some oversight over those, even though the folks that they vote in, so your auditors, those are all elected officials, but those are some county services that they have the ability to appoint some individuals if need be. But then they also have broad authority to talk about zoning in areas for if it falls into the county areas. And they have budget authority. And so if you want to discuss basically economic development in the county, they can help spur economic development. If you want to talk about roads and infrastructure, the county supervisors are really instrumental in doing that. If you want to talk about, and then the quasi sort of judicial part that I mentioned is, let's say that there are some decisions that have to be made legally, those board of supervisors could weigh in on some of those. So it's very broad. We would have to really go into the nuts and bolts of everything that the county supervisors do, because in this county, they're responsible for over 133,000 people roughly.
Right.
And so that's a lot of responsibility for here.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm trying to be. There are 2 seats that are open. Craig White, who is also Democrat, is an incumbent and he's running, and I'm running for the other seat. So we do have opposition on the other party, but I'm asking today for everybody's vote.
Wonderful.
And support.
And in a nutshell, I also asked the same question. We went out to lunch, and Yeshi was able to give me a little bit of that insight. One word that I took away from our conversation with Black Hawk County Supervisor is advocacy for our community, in a sense of just being someone that represents our community in a similar capacity, not exactly at all, but like the mayor, you said, is also someone that does that. But you're supervising, then you're also, part of that is just being an advocate for Black Hawk County.
Absolutely. So if you think about it, not everybody can function in government day to day. There would be, bottlenecks in terms of everybody had to create legislation, pass legislation,
Right.
define what zoning laws are. So if you think about it, we have the governor who represents our interests as a state. You
Right.
have your mayors who represent your interests as a city.
Right.
You have your county supervisors who represent your interests at the county level.
Right.
And so that's
Right.
essentially what the county supervisors do.
Oh, that helps make a lot of sense.
Representing our interests at the county level.
Is it a paid position?
It is a paid position. It's considered here in Black Hawk. It's still a half-time position, but it is a paid position.
Okay. And how do you interact with the city council?
So the city council is still autonomous to the county because they're 2 different forms of government.
Sure.
However, hopefully when you have leveraging of ideas and you want to move things forward, you would work closely with the county, the city, the mayors, and then even counties next door and their areas if you're talking about growth and expansion. So hopefully it's a good working relationship that you want to build, because if you want to talk about development and moving forward and growing, you have to have that conversation open.
Right.
What makes you our best choice?
Okay. No, go ahead.
Okay.
What makes you our best choice, Yeshi?
So let me tell you about my background. So I am
Yes.
from Waterloo, born and raised, Black Hawk County. So my background is I'm an attorney by trade. So I've been a licensed attorney for 16 years. But for the last 8 years, I've been working in federal government at USDA under President Obama at USDA. And in addition to working just on infrastructure, such as...
Did you hear that? That
Oh.
was President Obama. Name drop. That's,
Okay.
That's all good.
Thank
She was up in there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, in addition to working on infrastructure, so my first job was in rural utilities, working on rural electric, broadband, telemedicine, and wastewater development. I was then promoted for all of rural development to work in the Undersecretary's office, and essentially we were responsible for helping driving business loans. So folks like you and I, if we were in rural areas, how we could get funding to start our businesses or cooperatives. In addition to that, we had the housing component. So if you wanted to buy a home in rural America, you could come through USDA, but also if you were interested in building, let's say, libraries, hospitals, grocery stores, supermarkets, fitness centers, anything that was the community that had access to it, we funded those. We also funded multifamily housing, so senior homes, dormitories. So we're talking about broad expansion, everything to build a community in rural America, you could get right there in rural development. When I was then promoted to work with the secretary on one of his efforts, which was Strike Force, and I'm trying to condense it really quickly. So
Yeah.
what happened is Secretary Vilsack was really interested in eradicating poverty.
Okay.
And so what he wanted to do is focus on poverty in rural America. So we started in 3 states, Georgia, Arkansas, and Mississippi. We only had 5 community-based organizations that would work with us. We had no budget, no staff. And what we did is we looked at the county level. What does it take to help these counties move forward? What do you need? what type of infrastructure. And by working with those states, I also learned the other programs other federal governments had, other agencies within the federal government, what private partnerships we could build on relationships, and then also how to work at the regional levels with other counties and with the cities. And so by the time I transitioned out of that role, we were in 16 states and over $7 billion of USDA money had been pumped into those areas for infrastructure development.
Wow.
So in terms of development and knowing how to look at things from the county level to infuse growth and build forward, I believe I have that experience. But then also the county supervisor does budget work.
Okay.
And so I served as chief of staff for research, education, economics, and my budget there was $2.9 billion that I was responsible for developing and administrating. And then from there I was promoted before we left the administration to Deputy Assistant Secretary for Administration.
Wonderful.
And so
Wow.
some of those issues that fell in my portfolio, IT, Homeland Security, human resources, property procurement, everything that makes USDA run. And at that time, USDA had about 90,000 employees. So everything we did impacted all of those employees. So I just think in terms of just my desire of moving back here because this is my home and wanting to make it a better place.
Right.
And then coupled with my professional experience, I think I would be the best candidate.
The best
Yes,
candidate.
I agree.
Right. I have a question.
Yes.
What do you love about Waterloo?
My family's here.
Okay.
All right.
Number one.
We have some comments right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of comments for you.
Okay.
Getting down to the first one. Miss Rocki says, yeah, she was my cousin first.
True.
Joyce and Waterloo was wondering, when can they vote for you?
Okay.
Yes. Good question.
So the election is November 6th. However, there's early voting. So if you are
Okay.
interested in early voting, you can reach out to our campaign office. You can just ping us on Facebook. We will work with you to get you an absentee ballot request form. That way an absentee ballot can be sent directly to you. If you need help filling it out, you can call somebody, one of us. We can come help you fill it out. Because this year we have to also remember that straight party ticket is no longer allowed. So you really have to fill in every single bubble next to the name. And I need to make sure that you guys vote for me. So fill in my
Yes.
bubble. But early voting starts. But if you want to wait, the election date is November 6th.
Okay.
November 6th, folks.
And remember, there are 2 slots. So 2 people, there are 2 Democrats that are running. Vote for both.
Right.
But you can vote for 2. So I know some people are sort of confused if they can only vote for 1 or not, but
Sure.
you can vote for 2 for this position.
That's a good point.
Miss Rocki would like to know, who are the others running for the position?
So Craig White is an incumbent, and he's a Democrat, and he's running. Currently, the chief of police is running as a Republican.
Which would Dan Chalka.
Yes.
Dan Chalka.
Sticks Norman Corey says, she definitely has my vote. Her knowledge and experience is needed.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Brock, yes, I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. Yeah, you definitely have my vote, and not just because you're my cousin, because if I could say something about the candidate here, brilliant. She was brought up in an amazing way and always pushing. She's always been ahead of the curve, thinking outside the box.
Thank you.
You know, problem solver. Super even keeled, can probably handle like multiple things without losing her cool. You know, just go for it. Just goes with the flow, and also a leader. And just, I'm really proud of you. We've always been so proud of you, Yeshi.
Thank you. We come from the same family.
Oh,
It's
that's
the same
right.
genes.
That's right. We're
Yeah.
just so proud, and just thinking of just from childhood on, just a very consistent display of giftings and talent and love for her family and community. So,
Thank you.
wonderful candidates.
Thank you
no
very much.
doubts.
I knew you had an extensive background in politics, but I didn't know. I was going to ask the question,
Yes.
but then in everything you said, everything that I thought to ask was covered.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So no, that's fine.
That's
That's
good.
wonderful.
You were thorough.
No, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
So as we close, you can be up here for, did you have something else, Brian, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to comment, though, that when you spoke of yourself,
Uh-huh.
I was very interested in your response in terms of everything you said was about how you interacted with this and cooperated with that and worked in conjunction with those. And I think that spirit of working together
Yeah.
is something that Waterloo could use right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And win or lose, I have a feeling you're going to be a powerful force in this community.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to say too, to that point, last night at the town hall meeting, you know, she was also one of the panelists, and as we each got a turn to talk, she was the only one of us who did a group exercise and said, hey, everybody, here's this exercise. Think of how many words you can think of that start with the letters of school. And as we did that, only maybe 2 people in the whole crowd.
The winner did. Yeah.
The winner did this.
Yes.
Only 1 or 2 people actually joined with their neighbor and worked together on that little assignment. And that's what Yeshi's point was. Like, you know, when we get an assignment, we think, okay, competition, let's go, let's get it done, and let me see how much I can think of. Instead of saying, well, how come nobody decided to collaborate, you know, or come together? And that really was the point. We were all like, I think our mind just automatically goes to like individualism and competition. As
Or our
opposed
own groups. And we
Yes.
don't, or we're afraid to sort of step out the box because we just don't want to deal with that. We just don't want to deal with it sometimes when we are on a mission.
Right, I've always heard this saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yes.
Go
Yep.
together. So, great observation with that. It's
Yes.
very good.
Well,
Yes.
now, you know, we don't have we sort of have a way that we do things, but hey, it changes from week to week.
That's
as far
right.
as our order.
Uh-huh.
We just want to say happy birthday to some folks.
Absolutely. I'll take a few. Well, let's see. I'll do the first column.
Okay, that's fine.
Tony Brown.
Hey, Tony.
Yay. Sabrina Rucker, Jay Jordan, Shantae Grundy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yay. I hope you enjoy your day.
Lupita Ramirez, TJ Saul, who's a personal friend of mine, drummer, great drummer, watches your
Oh.
show. He chimes in all the time.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, great.
Yes, happy birthday, TJ.
Hardworking guy and a great drummer.
Yeah.
Essence Williams and George Marshall.
That's right. George is in
Yes.
Ireland.
No.
Yeah,
Really?
he's in Ireland.
Wow.
He won from the Irish Fest. Last Irish Fest.
Oh my goodness.
They won of all people. It's just so funny. George is just, and he's the like least excitable person. He's just really cool. But he won that trip to Ireland. He was like, whoa!
I bet.
And so George and Judy are in Ireland, and he will be back on his birthday, the 31st of this month. On
Nice.
Tuesday is his actual birthday. So yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and to finish out our birthdays, Clinton Woods, that's my nephew.
Uh-huh.
Hey, happy birthday. Veronica McGee Funches,
Oh, hey Veronica, happy
Missy
birthday.
Ginther,
Uh-huh.
and Randy Barber.
And one more, Chassidi Martin had a birthday this month.
That's
Woo,
right.
woo.
That's right.
And Sawa Jimenez, sister, baby sister, had a birthday this month as well.
Your cousin
Amen.
twin.
Yeah, my cousin twin. That's right.
Now your mother is probably watching
Yes.
and thinks we should probably sing Happy Birthday,
Oh.
Stevie Wonder style.
Oh, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday
to ya.
Happy
birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Yay!
All right.
We just worked that song, but that's all we got. So good. Let's see. Don't forget to tune in at noon to NUYE. Also, check out Juliet Thurman Dunn's Facebook page for live performances by Molly Wilson and Brooklyn Smith. Right?
Yes.
And there's a reminder that today's youth are tomorrow's leaders. That's the real
Absolutely,
deal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So.
Yep, that's tomorrow. What else is tomorrow? The Urban Farmers Market.
Oh.
Yep, every Saturday at the Expo Plaza. Why I pulled these off and I still can't see. 460 Jefferson Street from 8 a.m. to noon.
Right, get some fresh produce and other items. It's not just produce they have at the farmer's market. So, very good.
Okay. And what else? Well, I already said I'm going to be talking about the North End Arts and Music Festival every single Friday, but we're trying to move right along. So what I really must do is talk about
The Soul Town. That's
Okay.
right.
The Soul Town. Please pick up your copy today. This is a tribute to someone, a community icon that we just recently lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr.
Walter Reed.
Walter Reed, a true blue. I just can't believe he's gone. It doesn't even seem real. So God bless you, Walter Reed. And get your copy of The Soul Town. Where can they get it?
You can get it at thesoultown.com, or you can get it from Earth's Beauty Supply, located at
On Franklin.
Thank you.
Next door to Two Scoops in them.
Ooh, that's right. Yes.
Yes.
And also at Tri-City Clothing,
Right across the street.
Right on
right across the street
4th
from here.
Street.
Right
on
Yes,
4th Street.
That's right. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's about our show this week. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been fun as usual. Thank you so much, Yeshi.
Thank you.
We pray much success for you.
Thank you.
A wonderful time with you. Thank you to the mama who raised you, my cousin Ruby, and little sister, and Sahai, wherever she is in the world.
All in favor of bringing Rocki back next week?
Yay! And thank you to our guest host, Bryan. Look, our
Yes.
guest host. I'm also a guest host, apparently. But it's been great to be here.
So we're half a guest host each.
Yes, yeah.
How's that?
Together we can combine to fill in Mom's
Collaboration.
collaboration.
Yes.
That's what it's all
That's how
about.
it goes.
So if all hearts and minds are clear.
Yes, you are your mother's daughter, my
Yes,
goodness.
I know. She got that from church.
Okay.
So keep doing what makes you awesome.
Because it makes us all look good.
That's right.
Hey.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
And we will see you next time.
Okay. An extended view of the live broadcast. We have a little special surprise for Chaveevah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Miss Sharon Silva wants to
All right.
present.
All right, people, don't make me cry.
Wants to.
I don't think it's going to make you cry. I need to set this on a chair.
Yeah, let me get up.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right. Now I have to explain. When I met you, Chaveevah, you were
Yes.
introduced to me not only as a talk show host,
Yes.
but also as a very talented local artist.
Yes.
I had a chance to look at some of your work, and this one in particular, I had to have.
Okay.
To make it special, of course, it had to be framed. It's hanging on the wall in my house right now. Now, I don't know this about artists. I don't know very many artists, but I thought maybe you don't get to see your work framed all that often.
No, I really don't. I usually kiss it goodbye and
Oh, okay. So I said, I think I can do something special for this woman whom I so appreciate, and here it is.
oh, wow.
Great, my favorite piece too.
Oh,
And I should give a
Beautiful.
shout out to Michaels and the people there who helped pick out the colors and the frames.
oh, that's
Yes.
beautiful.
This
wow.
piece is called Colored Girls.
Yes.
Is what it's called. So yes. Thank
Wow.
you. That's a beautiful.
Maybe somebody in your live audience knows the answer to this question, but a very famous artist coined the phrase that an artist's gift to the world is their art. The gift to the artist is the frame. It's a famous.
Oh.
It's a famous
Oh,
saying.
I've never heard
I
that.
never have either,
Never
but
heard-
that was
Wow.
perfect to pull
Yeah,
out.
That's
but that's
good.
somebody.
Appropriate.
Somebody weigh in on that because I'm sure that I'm not the only person that's heard that because
Wow.
I sure didn't
that-
make it up.
Well, thank you, Sharon, for that
Yes.
presentation. Awesome. We'll make sure Chaveevah
Wow.
gets that. Wonderful.
beautiful.
Okay, boom shakalaka again, our extended version. Good job. See you next week. Yeah.
It's very
you.
well
done.